Well, maraming schools of thought, no? Maraming opinion na lumalabas tungkol dito sa threshold na ito, no? And the prosecution is not involved in the political arithmetic, no, so to speak. Ayaw natin yan dahil hindi pa naman siguro panahon, no? But if anyone raises this before the Supreme Court, then it's a welcome development. Whatever the decision of the court will be, of course, the prosecution panel will respect that. Again, I'd like to emphasize that we're not involved in political arithmetic or anumang calculations meron yan. What the prosecution team is focused on is one, ilatag ang ebidensya, ipahayag ang ebidensya sa relatable na pamamaraan na kung saan maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan. Pangatlo, ipakita yung importansya nitong mekanismong ito na sinasabi nating accountability mechanism. No? Ito yung very important na dapat naintindihan ng ating mga kababayan. So again, we're not involved in the calculations, whatever number there is. We're not involved in political arithmetic. What we intend to do is just ilatag itong ebidensya, pagtibayin, palakasin ang ebidensya tungkol dun sa aligasyon na nakasaad sa articles of impeachment.
Some members of the prosecution na sinasabi po nila, kino-question, I mean, for them, dapat ibaba yung threshold, especially Congressman Luistro and Congressman Zamora. According to Congressman Zamora sa isang interview nung isang araw, naniniwala siya na movable yung 16. Are all prosecutors po have the same opinion with the threshold?
I think they've made it clear when they give these statements that these are their own personal opinion, no, and not necessarily reflective of the official position of the prosecution panel as a whole. No? So, again, tulad ho ng sinabi ni former Congressman Ace Barber. So, may dalawa ho kasing schools of thoughts dyan. No? Meron isa, yung restrictive, no, na sinasabi, it has to be just 16. Meron naman ho yung mas functional, no, na interpretation, which is kailangan mong tignan din yan, no, na kung pag sinabi mong two-thirds of the Senate, members of the Senate, titignan mo lang kung sino yung mga functioning members, no, kung hindi naman nakapag-participate in the first place, didn't even take their oath or didn't hear the evidence, how can their vote be considered? So, lahat naman yan, valid points yan. But at the end of the day, ang prosecution right now, again, we're not focused on that. So we have not taken any official step with respect to this matter. Kami, nananatili ho. Yung focus natin nandito ho sa paglilitis na to. At tutuloy-tuloy ho natin, siguraduhin na gugulo yung proseso at maglalatag ho kami ng ebidensya dito.
Last na lang pong question from me. Sa isang interview rin po, sinabi naman ni Attorney Michael Powan, ang ibig sabihin daw po ng bloodbath na sinabi ni VP Sara ay siya raw po yung magiging duguan sa nangyayaring impeachment trial. Pero nga sabi niya, she will remain unbowed. Based on our evidence po, sa tingin niyo ba magiging sugatan at duguan si VP Sara?
Never po na intention ng prosecution na magkaroon ng sakitan. Pero ang intention po talaga ng prosecution ay pananagutan. Hindi ho namin alam kung saan nanggagaling itong dugo na parati po nilang ginagamit sa kanilang mga statement.
Alright, next. Hi po, good morning po. Marian from TV5. May we confirm lang po yung request ni NBI Director Melvin Matibag. He has asked daw po the prosecution panel to move his court appearance to an earlier date. Before July 20 sana. Kasi may dadaluhan daw po siyang summit in Thailand from July 21 to 22. And ano po ang sagot ng prosecution regarding this?
Yes, we received that yesterday, the notice sent by Director Matibag. So we're currently discussing how we could accommodate his request. Para, of course, we need to consider his schedule as well. So maybe we will see if in the hearing this afternoon, this is already something that we will raise to the court. No? Ang halaga ho dito, hindi naman sorpresa no, na magbibigay ng testimonya si Director Matibag na sabi namin ho ito nung matagal na panahon na. So kung kakailanganin ho na magkaroon ng konting adjustment dun sa order of witnesses na pag-present namin, no, yan ho yung under deliberation at maaring raise ho namin to sa impeachment court sa pagdinig ngayong hapon.
Sige. I understand, sabi rin po ni Congresswoman Zamora, I think during the weekend press con, ready daw po yung prosecution to present at least 2 witnesses a day.
Yes, but again, we will see. Siyempre, depende ho yan, no, on a per witness basis. Depende ho kung gaano katagal ang abutin no, nung, sa kanyang direct examination, cross-examination, kung papayagan ho. No, na or if necessary, magkakonduct pa kami ng redirect. Sila din, pwede pang mag-recross. And makita din naman natin, minsan nagkakaroon din ho ng mga debate about some legal issues no, before the witness takes the stand or minsan during. No? So, mahirap pong pangunahan. But if there's enough time, then we can do that.
Last na lang po, can we say na we are winning na po itong article ng grave threats? Lalo na first, the defense cannot even say that the VP is innocent. And second po, even Kong Ridon and Kong Luistro said that they've already admitted the threat of the VP against the President. Only that, it is justified. So, may pag-amin na po ng pababanta. Can we say na we're winning already this case po?
Maybe ako nung mauna. Well, first of all, are we winning? Ultimately, that's a decision that the Constitution has given to the Senate sitting as an impeachment court to make. So hindi ho namin papangunahan. Ano ho? But if you'll ask us, what we can say is we've achieved our goal so far, which is first, di ba, yung present this video where these threats were made and prove its authenticity. We've done that. No? Sinisiguraduhin din natin, una, in the first place, is magtuloy-tuloy itong paglilitis na to. Ano? We've also achieved that. So, we're pleased no, with how it has unfolded so far at tutuloy-tuloy ho natin ito na magpresenta pa ng additional evidence para lalong pagtibayan itong kaso ng grave threats and all other articles of impeachment.
Dadagdagan ko lang yung konteksto ng sinabi ni Attorney Jane. No? Una, tingnan natin yung video. Yung pagbabanta, hindi ho ito yung ordinaryo na pagpalagay natin, assuming without conceding na mayroon silang sinasabing conditional threat. No? Pero yung normal naman na may naririnig tayo kasi ang premise nila is nagalit. Diba? Yun ang justification nila. Hindi ho nila na-refute yung ebidensya na yun. Rather, they provided justification kung bakit daw ganon ang naging pananalita ng Vice Presidente. Tingnan po natin yung video na yon, no? Hindi po yung usual na pagbabanta ang naririnig natin. Halimbawa sa Bisaya pa kasi Bisaya kami ni Chairman Ace na bantay lang ka kay nakoy buhaton nimo kay di ba nasuko ko. Hindi ganoon Yung narinig po natin sa video na yon, sinabi niya, kinausap niya ang lalaki, may kinausap siya. Meron siyang sinabi na pag may mangyari sa akin, patayin mo si Presidente, ang unang ginang, ang former Speaker of the House, huwag kang titigil hanggat di mo to magawa. So it was not really a threat kung akong tatanungin mo. She described a meeting wherein she requested or she ordered someone to do her bidding to kill these individuals. So it was not just the usual, sabihin natin, pagbabanta. Dinescribe niya yung paraan kung paano to gagawin. So, malaki po yung difference nun, no? Ngayon, dadagdag ko lang po. Alam po natin kumbaga, ayaw natin marinig yung pagbabanta, maski na lang sa ating mga anak, hindi natin gusto yon sa ating mga katrabaho. Ngayon, uso ang pickleball. Ayaw mong marinig sa mga kalaro mo sa pickleball na magbanta, di ba? Kung ayaw niyong marinig yon, the more na ayaw niyo dapat marinig sa mga halal na opisyal. Mag-demand kayo ng ethical standard na hindi basta-basta dahil galit na tao na gawing justification ito na magbanta. Lalong-lalo na kung ang isang nagbabanta ay matataas na opisyal halal ng gobyerno.
Well, a threat is a threat. No? Kahit anong angle mo tingnan yan, pagbabanta yan. No? Ang tanong na lang dito, ito ba ay dapat ginagawa ng isang mataas na opisyal ng gobyerno? Hindi ba dapat kapag mataas ang pwesto mo sa gobyerno, hindi ba dapat mas mataas yung panuntunan, mas mataas yung standards of you being in that office, di ba? So, ikaw ay role model, no? Ikaw ay inelect, binigyan ng tiwala. So, dahil sa pagbabanta ba, nawala yung tiwalang yun? So, yan ang gusto nating patunayan. Kaya tayo nandito sa impeachment trial. Wala hong makukulong dito. Ito ho ay proseso na kung saan tinitest yung fitness ng ating mga opisyal sa gobyerno. Kung karapat dapat ba silang manatili sa kanilang pwesto. Yan po ang malinaw, no? Yan po ang malinaw na sinasabi ng ating prosesong ito at nakasaad sa ating saligang batas. So again, it's not really the issue of whether may conditional ba yung threat na yan. Bakit kailangan magkaroon ng condition yung threat? Hindi naman iba yan doon sa sinasabing pagbabanta. Ano ba? Kapag ka sinabing ikaw, pagka hindi mo ako binayaran ng utang mo, papatayin kita. Gusto ba nating naririnig yun? Not anyone would be able to accept the fact na merong nagbabanta sa iyo. Kasi sigurado, kahit tayong mga pagka binantaan tayo, alam nga namang wala tayong reaksyon. Di ba? Ngayon, ang tanong, yung pagbibigay ng pagbabanta ng ating pangalawang Pangulo, acceptable ba yan sa ating mga kababayan? Yun lang ang gusto nating ipunto dito.
Sir, follow up lang dun sa threats kasi napag-usapan na lang din yung threats. Over the weekend, parang yung mga supporters ni VP Sara Duterte, kinukumpara nila yung itong issue ng grave threats dun sa ginawang threats din daw ni Chris Aquino sa isang abogado na nakaaway niya before. Parang ang sinasabi nila, parang bakit yun daw, parang magkaiba yung pagtingin daw ng mga tao doon na parang pinagbantaan din naman daw ni Chris Aquino yung abogado. Bakit daw si VP Sara Duterte parang pinoprosecute ng mas malala? Any thoughts po?
Well, ako, hindi ko alam kung ano yung klaseng pagbabanta. Pero iba yung pagbabanta na papatayin. Diba? Iba yung pagbabanta sa pagpatay. Mas pwede kang magbanta na sabihin mo lang na, okay, pakukulong kita. Pero pag sinabi mo, ipapapatay kita, whatever it is, whether by sinasabing kondisyon o wala, it's still pagbabanta. At walang ibang dapat meaning yun.
Sir, parang ang nasabi po ni Chris Aquino before dun sa abogado, do not return home because you would be dead. Parang maybe Attorney Jay.
Sige. Difficult to comment on that because I'm not really aware of the words given by Ms. Aquino. No? But pwede kong sabihin, ang mas tama ho sigurong ikumpara natin ay yung hong pagbabantang ginawa ng isang simpleng public school teacher, no? Nung tinakot ho during the previous administration, yung presidente nung panahon na yun, no? Maalala natin ang sinabi ho niya doon, kung sinong makakapagpapatay sa presidente, bibigyan niya ng 50 million pesos. Obviously, ang public school teacher, wala ho siyang kakayahan na magbayad ng 50 million pesos na to. Pero alam ho natin, naging swift ang action ng law enforcement dito. Hinuli siya, kinasuhan siya. Doon ho natin ikumpara. Ngayon, ito hong nagbigay ng threat na ito noon, simpleng public school teacher, ang pinag-uusapan ho natin dito, ang nagbigay nitong pagbabanta na to at pag-amin na meron ng kasunduan sa isang mamamatay tao, nanggaling ito sa pangalawang pinakamataas, pangalawang pinakamakapangyarihan, no, na public official ng ating gobyerno. So, iyan ho ang magandang comparison na tignan ho natin dyan.
Kailangan ho natin, again, I have to reiterate, hindi lang ito pagbabanta lang ng sinabi. Dinescribe niya yung paano yung naging usapan. So hindi lang talaga siya, meron talagang willingness. And if you're talking about capacity, that already consummated, that already makes her capable because the agreement was already done. So she is already that capable of ordering this hitman to do her bidding. No? Hindi lang yung pagbabanta na basta-basta lang. Ito ay dinescribe niya yung meeting na yon at yung agreement na yon.
Sir, on my second question po, without revealing without going too much into the merits and the strategy of the prosecution, ano po bang relevance ng testimony ni Attorney Zulaika Lopez sa Article 4? Meron po ba kayong balak i-pursue na line of questioning for her?
Yeah, again, just in broad strokes, defense, they pointed out certain portions of the video showing Attorney Zulaika, meaning she was there when these utterances were made. So, maliwanag naman, no, kung pag pinatawag siya as witness, no, magiging relevant ang testimony niya dahil nandun din ho siya dun sa same room, same place, kung kailan ho to ginawa itong mga pananakot at pagbabanta.
Sir, good afternoon po. Morning. Dwight De Leon po from Rappler. Mga sirs, would just like to ask, how is the prosecution preparing for the oral arguments on the issue of the BIR box on Wednesday? Sinabihan na po ba kayo ng impeachment court how it will go exactly? Will it happen during the trial itself or will it be a separate meeting?
Well, we have not yet received any particular most probably it will be done at the start before we call our witness for that day. And as regards our preparation, these are legal issues that we've anticipated from the start because again, we know that their strategy is consistent, no, from the start, when even when the proceedings were still before the House of Representatives, and then consistent with their stance and their when they filed the answer, which is to prevent us from presenting evidence, you know, in support of the articles of impeachment. So itong mga issues na to, no, pinaghahanda na natin yan, no? But of course, patuloy pa rin naman yung paghahanda in view of the oral arguments to be held this Wednesday.
Tama ba, sir? The prosecution and also the defense are required to submit a memorandum for each party. Nag-submit na po ba kayo?
That will be filed today.
But not yet, as of the moment.
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay. But will it be filed during the impeachment court? Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Okay po. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Sir, pwede niyo po ba kaming i-inform kung ano lang yung highlights nung memorandum na i-file po ninyo within today? For example, yung at least yung mga na-mention na when it comes to the yung AMLC, bank records, and tax records.
Maybe it will be better if we'll wait for the parties to file their respective memoranda and then we can talk about it afterwards.
Okay, sir. Dito naman sa i-raise po ninyo this afternoon regarding NBI Director Matibag, will you raise na this week na po siya mag-testify or after next week na po?
Well, the request is as much as possible allow him to testify, you know, before he leaves for his trip, you know, because baka possible meron din siya engagements after that, no? So again, this is under deliberation. We'll see, no, if there's already a need to raise it during the hearing this afternoon. Basta importante lang naman dyan, gusto natin siguraduhin na mabigyan siya ng pagkakataon, no, to take the stand, no, para mabigyan niya ho yung relevant and material testimony that we're expecting from him.
Kaano po kahalaga yung na makatestify si NBI Director Matibag?
Well, same as well our other listed witnesses, no? Importanting sa kanya because he will testify on the investigation conducted by the NBI, you know, in relation to the threats. So I'm sure you'll understand that that's the extent that I can discuss with you right now. But once he takes the stand, we could discuss it at length.
It seems there are no other questions. So, any member of the panel? Please.
How long po kaya tatagal yun kung itong parliament for this Article 4? And how many witnesses for Article 4?
For the grave threats, we were given 11 days to present witnesses. No, but we hear the sentiment of some of the senator judges that it will be better to abbreviate the proceedings at kami din naman gusto din naman namin tong matapos sa lalong madaling panahon. Ayaw na naman namin tong patagalin unnecessarily, but of course without sacrificing our ability to properly, efficiently and effectively present evidence. But bawat pagkatapos namin magpresenta ng testigo na ebidensya, nagkakaroon kami lagi ng assessment para makita ano na ang mga importanteng bagay na natalakay ng aming witness at ano pa ang kinakailangan. So, we will make adjustments. Maaari yung mga ibang witnesses na listed sa aming pre-trial brief ay hindi na namin patawag kung ang intended testimony nila ay natalakay na ng mga naunang testigo. Dahil yan naman ang goal din natin, kung maaaring mas mapaiksit, mapabilis natin itong paglilitis na to, we will try to do that.
Pero out of 60, ilan po yung prepared for that?
11 trial dates for grave threats, So far, we've just presented one. We'll be presented another one today. So, as we've stated, titignan natin. We'll make the necessary adjustments kung pwedeng hindi na namin ipatawag yung mga ibang testigo na nalista namin para mas mapabilis ito.
Attorney Tolosa, follow up lang po sa question ni Ate Marian. Hoping ba kayo na hindi kayo aabot ng Pasko or bagong taon, ito pong impeachment trial? Kasi sabi po ni Senator Ping Lacson, kapag hindi po binago or hindi pinabilis yung pong trial, magpapasko po talaga kayo na mayroong paglilitis. Thank you po.
We'll do our part in making sure that this could be expedited, Again, to the extent reasonably possible. Siyempre, hindi din naman usapan ditong pabilisan, Importante din dito mailatag ng mabuting ebidensya dahil napakaseryoso ng pinag-uusapan natin ng mga charges dito. So, but at the same time, we're cognizant of that fact, na gusto natin pare-pareho matapos to ng mas madaling sa mas madaling panahon. So, susubukan natin yan, pipilitin natin yan.
All right. Any parting words from members of our panel?
Ako siguro baka itong part na to, itong Article 4, baka posibleng mas maikli siya kaysa dun sa inaasahan kasi yari talaga dito sa threats. Yaring-yari sila dito.
All right. On that note, we thank our members of the panel and our friends from the House Media. We'll see you again this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Di ba sabi conditional? Hindi ba yung condition is the fact that